The message arrived at 6:12 a.m., while the coffee machine hissed like it knew something I didn't. Plans changed. You're not coming on the cruise. Mom wants only her family. No greeting, no apology, just a clean excision. I stared at the screen long enough for the coffee to burn. The house was quiet. My house. 10 years of early mornings and late nights humming inside these walls. I imagined her already packing, moving through rooms that no longer included me, deciding what counted as family. I typed nothing back. Silence has weight when you know how to use it. Outside, a delivery truck passed. Somewhere, a neighbor laughed. The world kept its rhythm while mine slipped half a beat. I felt the old discipline rise. Slow breath, still hands. Rage is only useful when it's folded neatly. I reread the text once more, not for meaning but for tone. There it was. Not exclusion, replacement, family. I stood in the kitchen where we once argued about paint colors, where I signed mortgage papers with ink that cut deeper than blood. I realized something then, sharp and clarifying. This wasn't sudden, this was overdue, and whatever came next would be quiet, calculated, final. By noon, I knew it wasn't about a cruise. It never is. She'd been distant for months, not cold, just elsewhere. Her phone angled away, calls taken on the balcony, laughter that ended the moment I entered the room. I told myself it was stress, her mother, work, anything that didn't require surgery on my own chest. That morning stripped the anesthesia. Her mother had always treated me like a temporary fixture, useful, replaceable. She called the house our investment until the deed cleared, then started calling it family property. I let it slide. I let everything slide. That's what men do when they think patience is the same as strength. My father called that evening. "We need to talk about the house," he said. Not, "How are you?" Not, "I heard about the cruise." Just, the house. I listened to him explain how my wife's mother had concerns, how maybe it was time to protect assets, how marriage meant compromise. He spoke like a man reading from someone else's script. I thanked him for his concern, then I hung up. The betrayal wasn't loud, it was layered. Wife, mother-in-law, father, a quiet coalition formed without my consent, all deciding what parts of my life I was allowed to keep. I didn't confront anyone. I don't do emotional reactions. I do audits. I became observant, surgical. I pulled phone records under the pretense of fixing our plan. Numbers repeated, late nights, short calls, always after she said she was tired. I watched her pack for the cruise. New dresses, tags still on, lingerie I'd never seen. I checked emails, not hers, her mother's. Family group threads have loose seams. There it was. Itinerary updates. 2 cabins merged into one. A name I recognized. Her cousin Mark. The same man who'd been at every holiday for the past year. The same man who hugged her too long. I ran numbers, mortgage, equity, penalties. Everything has a cost, including freedom. At night, she slept peacefully beside me. I studied the familiar angles of her face, searching for guilt. I found none, just certainty. She thought the story was already written. I scheduled appointments, realtor, bank, attorney. I left no fingerprints of emotion, only signatures. The confirmation came quietly, as truth usually does. A forwarded email from her mother sent to the wrong address. "Once the cruise is done, we'll talk about the house. Mark deserves stability if this is going to work." No hearts, no euphemisms, just logistics. That night I placed my phone on the table between us while she folded clothes. "Who's Mark?" I asked. She froze, a fraction too long. She tried to speak, failed, tried again. I slid the phone toward her, the email open, bright, unforgiving. Her knees gave out. She cried. Not softly, not with dignity. She reached for me like I was still an option. I stayed seated. "I already canceled the payments," I said. Calm, precise. "The house sold this morning." Her mouth opened. Nothing came out. The next day, while she boarded the cruise alone, I emptied the house. Not in anger, in order. Furniture sold. accounts closed, photos boxed and donated. I left my wedding ring on the counter, centered, deliberate, a punctuation mark. I blocked numbers, all of them. My father called once more. I let it ring. I left town before sunset, my life reduced to what fit in the trunk. No note, no explanation. I'd already said everything that mattered. The cruelty wasn't leaving, it was leaving nothing to negotiate. Weeks later I heard fragments. The cruise imploded. Mark disappeared. Her mother blamed everyone but herself. The house money was gone. So was I. I felt nothing, no triumph, no grief, just balance restored. I didn't lose a marriage, I escaped an acquisition. And for the first time in a decade, every decision belonged to me. I drove on, untouched.